Good morning. My name is Casey Bonham, and today I will be speaking about the body donation industry and how to resolve its current issues. John Stuart Mills, author of the 1863 Utilitarianism Doctrine, which prioritizes the majority of society, states that action should be done which result in happiness for the greatest number of people. And everything we do should benefit the greater good of society. And one such action is body donation. The act of body donation includes either the donation of the whole body or cadaver for the purpose of advancing medical studies or the donation of organs for transplant to save lives. The Knight University Journal of Health Science argues that in order to most effectively learn human anatomy, the dissection of human cadavers is necessary. Furthermore, since the number of medical institutions are increasing, there is an increased demand of cadavers for anatomical dissection. The donation of human cadavers not only benefits medical students who need these cadavers in order to further their medical study, but also the donor who can now give back to society following the utilitarianism doctrine. According to the American Transplant Foundation, almost 114,000 people in the United States are currently on the waiting list for a life-saving organ transplant. To express the impact of donation, just one deceased donor has the ability to save 8 lives with organ donation. Currently, the laws regarding the donation of bodies in the U.S. are flawed and lead to many problems. The law in the United States that regulates the donation of organs, tissues, and other body parts is known as the Uniform Anatomical Gift Act, or the UAGA. It was passed in 1968 and officially made body donation a right, morally based on free choice and volunteerism. Yet, there are some difficulties with this law. Today, every state has some form of the law. However, this is what leads to the lack of uniformity, causing the legal rights of a person over his or her body post-mortem to remain ambiguous. One such area where laws are lacking is that there are very few legal remedies available to the families of donors whose bodies are misused. Dealing with issues regarding the donation of a loved one affects the family's grieving process. And when their loved one has been misused, there is no legal remedy if the family seeks justice for their loved one. It is often described that they have lost their loved one all over again. Yet, there are still a few sections of the UAGA that tries to bring justice to families, but it does not completely address the abuses that occur when body brokers mishandle donated bodies. Because there are few laws regulating the body donation industry, there is a large risk for the manipulation of the system. One reason that abuses have gone on for so long is due to the UAGA's limited scope that allowed for the growth of an entire industry selling human body parts to go unchecked. The main source of issues in the body donation comes from groups known as body brokers, or companies that facilitate the selling of body parts and whole bodies. Often they can follow the laws, but mostly are through unethical and illegal means. Some of the violations and misconduct by body brokers includes fraudulent inducement of donations and selling bodies against donors' wishes to non-medical research organizations. Body brokers are taking advantage of both the donor and the family by misleading them and not following their wishes. This breaks the trust that should be instilled in the system, as the altruistic donors who are seeking a science-friendly and utilitarian option are being deceived because their gift to science is not being utilized properly. Ethical issues arise as body brokers are making money with somebody's gift to science. The supply of donated bodies is still much lower than the demand, and the lack of agency oversight allows body brokers to engage in unethical and sometimes illegal activity. Essentially, since there is such a great need for those donations, and there are few clear regulations, brokers can take advantage of the system. Reforms need to take place, and if not addressed promptly and effectively, the use and sale of tissues and the controversies that could likely result undermine the public's trust in organ donation and could cause serious harm. This highlights how seriously and urgently this issue needs to be addressed. Thomas H. Chapney of the Clinical Anatomy Journal asserts that not all for-profit companies are bad, as many of them are located in large metropolitan areas where they can access local nursing homes and hospices, advertise for local donations, and supply these donated bodies within the same region. They can also host lectures and labs and surgical training courses. Although they are making a profit, it is providing a good service to train healthcare workers and students. Even though there are many concerns within the industry, the overriding factor is that people are trying to help others through donation, which should be the main focus to help stabilize and correct the system. In order to guarantee that donations are used quickly and appropriately, which then honors the donor and the family, reforms must be put in place to better the industry. Two potential solutions are making sure all whole body organizations are accredited and properly licensed, as well as creating a nationwide database to oversee all donation transactions. By requiring all whole body organizations to be accredited and properly licensed by their respective states, a uniform standard would be created to ensure safety within the industry. The accreditation process includes meeting all applicable health and safety standards as well as unannounced inspections of the applicant's facilities, which would result in an increase of professionalism, health and safety standards, and credibility in the industry, thus promoting trust, which leads to an increase in donation. Requiring agency oversight and licensing could result in negative effects on smaller local body brokers, ensuring that all companies strictly follow the UAGA's guidelines. Schaefer also claims that access to a nationwide donor database increases availability of donated organs and tissues, as well as creates transparency, greater accountability, and increases purchasers' access to donations within the industry. Through this, illegal transactions and criminal behavior would be easier to detect and prevent, eventually resulting in a minimum of issues across the donation industry. Families could also benefit from this database as they could track their loved ones and make sure that their donation is received properly. To further the reforms suggested, one article recommends that developing national standards would help to improve organ donation registries to enhance coordination and increase the availability of organs. This would benefit the most people possible, as all reforms and changes to the system must be done with the thought of fostering trust in all phases of the transplant system, respecting family wishes, individual autonomy, and volunteerism through informed consent. Yet, these suggestions may cause limitations, as Anna S. Iltes points out that an increase in rules may decrease the amount of donations, but few set laws would cause unethical behavior and distrust between the donor and recipient. This reform may be troublesome and irritating for already present donation companies, as it requires an even longer process which may deter agencies from continuing their work. The benefits of organ donation and body donation are clear and have an influential impact on society. Yet there are issues receiving its benefits, as the industry is both unethical and unregulated. The lack of regulatory laws leads to illegal behavior which disrespects donors and families' wishes. Solutions to correct these malpractices would be to introduce a nationwide database to process all donations and require all companies to become accredited and properly licensed. Hopefully, the reforms to the industry would lead to an increased number of donations, helping to fulfill Mill's idea that our actions will be done to benefit the greatest number of people. Thank you.